Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about how to feel motivated again after breakup. So, when you go through a breakup and when you've had your heart broken, basically, you go through sort of like a really weird phase. And usually this phase kind of lasts about a month where you're kind of like retransitioning back into your old life, and you're kind of breaking free from this person who, you may have had a lot of identity wound up with, because when you are in a relationship, like, so much gets bound to that person, to that relationship. Like, you become friends with their friends, you meet their family, you have like habits that you get into. And when you have a breakup, you then have to detach yourself from all of that, and you can have a bit of an identity crisis, especially if your identity was really wrapped around that relationship. So, it's a really strange time and it feels weird. Some days you feel really happy and you're glad that they're gone, you're angry at them. And then other days, you're really sad and you miss them, because it's a very confusing time. So, one of the things that can help you is to understand that some days will actually be better than others. Like, some days you're going to be feeling fine, other days you're not going to be feeling fine. And you have to accept that, especially if this is just the beginning, right? If it's the beginning of the breakup just happened not that long ago, or perhaps have tried to get them back and now you've finally come to accept that nothing's ever going to happen, and the breakup basically has just started for you, even though the relationship may have ended like 2 months ago or even longer than that. But you've got to the point where you've finally started to accept that they're not coming back, and how can you sort of motivate yourself after this sort of situation. So what you got to realize is that you need time, and that some days will be better than others. But with time, things will eventually ease off, and your feelings and the rawness of your emotions will become less intense. Okay. But obviously, when you're going through something like this, it's really hard to motivate yourself to do the good things that are good for you, right? And that's what I mean by this video. Like, when it comes to a relationship, sometimes in a breakup, when you have that breakup, it can make you unmotivated to do the things that you need to do. Like, it can make you not want to go to work. It can make you not want to exercise anymore. It can make you fall back on things that you were trying to work towards for yourself. Like, perhaps you had a few goals, a few dreams that you were trying to accomplish, and now everything's sort of fallen by the wayside because you've been feeling so bad, which, it happens. Those sorts of things do happen in life. A breakup just happens to be one of those sorts of things, especially if you didn't want the breakup to happen. So what I want to get into about motivation, though, is that motivation is sort of rubbish. Like, you're never gonna you never have motivation when you need it. And sometimes what this comes down to is that sometimes you just have to force yourself to do whatever it needs to be done. You have to force yourself to do what you have to do, right? So one of the pieces of advice that I give people is, if you're struggling with motivation, like you're struggling to fill out your tax return, you're struggling to study, you're struggling to go to work, things like that, you have to just try and aim to do 15 minutes, right? And this is what I say to people. So, if when it comes to exercise, just try and do 15 minutes of exercise today. And 15 minutes sounds manageable in our heads. It sounds like it's something that we can easily achieve. And usually when you start and you start doing the 15 minutes, you go over those 15 minutes and you start to do more. So start with small steps like that. And that can work for everything. Just be like, okay, I'm just going to drive to work today. I'm just going to make the journey to work and then see how I feel when I get there. And then usually when you get there, you start to see your colleagues, they've all got happy smiles on their faces, and then you walk in and you get to that point where you actually want to go into work. Okay? If you ever get to that point. It depends on your job, right? You might not actually enjoy your job, so you might always be repelled by it, but it depends on your situation. But if you can just force yourself to just be there, to just be doing your job for 15 minutes, or just taking the car journey to work, it's much more likely that you're going to fall back into a habit of getting out of the car, going into work, and staying there. And if you just use it for, okay, I'm going to go to work, but I'm just going to do 15 minutes, and if I don't feel like it, I'm going to leave. Right? Usually if you start doing what you need to do, you get lost in the process of doing the thing that you need to do, whatever it is that you do at work, and then you stay longer and you stay for the full day. Okay? So that's what you got to realize. You got to just make things a bit easier for yourself. Don't think of all the things that you need to do. Just think of, okay, I'm just going to do 15 minutes of this, and that'll make you feel better, because motivation is rubbish. You're never going to need it when you want it. It's usually, everyone feels nice and motivated on really good days where everything's brilliant, everyone's happy and you feel happy. But on days when you're aching and you feel awful and you're sad and you're feeling miserable basically because of the breakup, you're not going to feel motivated, right? You're going to feel unmotivated. You're going to want to sit there, eat pizza, drink, listen to sad music and be sad, right? That's what you're going to be motivated to do on days you feel sad, generally, right? Obviously that's a bit specific. You might not want to do that, but you see my point, right? So, you have to force yourself to try and do it, right? You have to be disciplined. And the more disciplined you become, when you start going and you start losing yourself in the process of doing whatever you need to do, you're going to start feeling better. And once you've done and once you've finished whatever it is that you need to do, you're going to feel so much better about yourself. You're going to be really glad that you pulled through and you got through it, right? And you actually did it. Right? And some days you might be feeling so bad that you only just get to 15 minutes, right? Let's say you're studying for a paper and you only do the 15 minutes and then you crawl back into bed and you cry and you feel sad, right? Or you do 15 minutes of exercise and you don't go any longer than that, and then you just stop and go and take your shower and then go and play some video games for a bit. Some days are going to be better than others, right? But as long as you've done something, and you've tried to do something, and you've moved your life a little bit forward, even if it was only just for 15 minutes, at least you've got that, right? At least you've got that in the bag, right? So if you need help with this sort of situation, then I highly recommend that you go and check out my personal development channel, because I go into these details a lot better when it comes to motivation, getting yourself to do things in greater detail, basically. So please go and check out that channel. So you want to do things also that boost your confidence, that make you feel good about yourself. And taking action is one of those things that can boost your confidence. So there's a great quote by Dale Carnegie. I'm just trying to find it. It's something that I have on my desk that just as a reminder for me, and it goes, inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. So if you want to feel more confident in yourself after this breakup, start tackling that to-do list. Start doing the things that you've always been wanting to do. Start taking action on things that you feel are really important to your life, that are going to progress your life and make you feel good about yourself. One of those things is exercise. One of those things is doing physical challenges like exercise, right? Other things are, working on perhaps like a project that you've been trying to do. Perhaps you want to start a business. Perhaps you want to start a YouTube channel, and start making progress on those things. Because the more things you do and you start taking action and you get lost in the process of taking incremental steps to get to where you want to be, that's going to make you feel so much more better. Because like the quote says, inaction breeds doubt and fear. So if you do nothing, it's just going to breed doubt and fear. But if you take action, it's going to breed confidence and courage, and you want to feel good about yourself, right? And one of the things that you can do to make it a little bit easier on yourself when you're doing things is try and find a way to make it fun. So whatever it is that you're doing, find a way that you can make it more enjoyable. So let's say you go and exercise, listen to some music, right? Listen to some music that really pumps you up. Maybe or when you're doing work, maybe you listen to really some nice study type music or something. Or perhaps you've got a lot of phone calls to make, so you decide to go out into the garden or go somewhere like a local park so you can enjoy the conversation, because you can enjoy the phone calls more better because you're in an environment that's a lot more relaxing and you're not just stuck somewhere like at home or something like that, right? So try and find a way, whatever it is that you're doing, to try and make it more enjoyable for yourself, right? And it might be the case that you might need to change things up a bit. Like let's say you've always been a runner, but you hate running. Right, if you hate running, you don't have to run if you don't want to. If you'd prefer to swim, then go do some swimming, or just shake it up a bit. Like I'll go running today and I'll go swimming tomorrow, and then on Wednesday I'm going to go do some taekwondo or something like that. Whatever it is, right? Just do something that makes it a bit more enjoyable for yourself, to make it a little bit more bearable. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.